Hey our fam, welcome back to my channel. This is the channel where we finally answer once and for all what is the greatest, best, ultimate giga anime really is. 13 days ago, as of the time of the recording of this video, Joey the Anime Man released a huge collab video where he gathered 107 participants, friends if I remember correctly, yeah, and asked them the question, and I quote, "What is the greatest anime ever made?" And with the video itself, I was very happy and excited really to watch the video, very surprised as well, especially to see the responses of the people, to that question. And really, it's just an awesome way to spend an hour just listening to these people sharing to what they feel to them is the greatest anime, the best anime, the favorite anime, and the like. Just really sweet. Now, I first want to say that I will leave a link to that video down in the description below so you can check it out. Please do. Now, I know from the start that an answer to such a question, right, can be objectively solved. But there's always that, I guess, that one subjective factor that we just can't get rid of, and it, turns it into more subjective. I don't know. I don't exactly know, right? If it's good, it's good. If it's great, it's great, I suppose. Because see, that the question for the quote-unquote greatest anime, right? And that would include anime, the completed anime, I presume, from the time when anime started up until this very moment, right? It's still classified under the anime category since it is still airing. It is an anime. Now, if you would scientifically or objectively gather the right criteria for defining what the quote-unquote greatest anime is and narrow down the animes, all of the animes in current history, well, finding the one that closely fits into that highest scoring for that criteria, then you have your answer. And actually, one streamer did point it out in the video, and that was Professor Lando at the 30-minute 57th second timestamp. Please correct me if I'm wrong, where he gave a differentiation between the best and your personal favorite anime, which I agree. There has to be a difference between, there is a difference, right, between the two of them. Now, to him, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is the greatest anime, and he had a criteria consisting of the story or pacing, the characters, the waifus, the animations, the action versus the writing, the feel or the emotions of it, and the ending, which I have to say that all of these are a very plausible selection of aspects in an anime. And notice as well as how a lot of the responses would have quote-unquote a my favorite or something along those lines when they begin to answer the question, right? I guess it means that it is an anime that to them, they know that it is the best or the greatest. And anime where the line between the great and your favorite just merges into one, it's an anime where that happens. The line gets blurry between these two categories, and becoming the best one in their hearts is what all that matters, really, as to Joey said it, the different variety of animes to which they said is the best, it is the best, and that is to them, or maybe they really do believe that it is the greatest. I don't know if there is an exact answer really as to the greatest anime, but we'll see, we'll see. But that just goes to show really how anime extends far more than the objective eye. It's something that really hits you deep into your heart and soul and just sticks with you. And to those participants, their answers are just answers that, to them, they really do believe that this is the greatest. This is their personal favorite. This is the best for them and for other people as well. They can recommend it and the like, but hey, it really depends on the people, I suppose, on the person, I suppose. With that being said, I wanted to share with you, fam, what is the greatest anime, and surprise, it isn't Data Live. Despite my Data Live covered workspace, I suppose, I'll classify Data Live as an anime that is one of my personal favorites, right? But among the animes that I've watched in my career as a weeb, I would have to give it to two, actually. First one is actually Kill la Kill, Oh, in a nutshell, Kill la Kill is about giant scissors, you have alien clothing, you also have ecchi action mixed accompanied by sick fight music OST music and the like. And yeah, you know what? Just look it up. In incognito as much as possible. I don't know, sorry. But what I look for in an anime is it has a story that concludes. And I have to say that the conclusion to Kill la Kill was pretty good. In my mind, I can continue to generate many fanfics about the characters even when it's finished, but the journey to that conclusion is really jam-packed with a lot of stuff, both in its emotional aspects and the really hyped action moments. And to paraphrase in the wise words of Critical, each of the episodes are just filled with that nuts to butts high octane action where it just never stops. And if it does, just add a bit of that comedic spice here and there, and you have something that's just a please to watch, at least for me, to how I saw it. And speaking of please to watch, yes, the ecchi of Kill la Kill, my god. Almost everyone familiar with the title is familiar with the signature transformation sequence of the protagonist, Ryoko Matoi, which just screams, yep, this is an anime. This is anime. In my opinion, right? But not that the whole fan service thing ruins it, right? No. The show incorporates that into the story and really balances it well together with the action and the whole drama of it. It's a perfect ratio of ecchi and action, and this is exactly how I felt when I read The Slave of the Magical Capitals in the Troops. Not only did that series have a harem, but it also, again, with the ratio of echiness and action, it's pretty good. And yeah, you know what, if that series were to have with the adaptation of that coming up, yeah, that's definitely gonna be in my top 10, I suppose, if the anime completes, along with Yankee JK Kuzuhana-chan, and if that gets an adaptation, hopefully it does, and of course Hyakano. But I'm getting sidetracked now. Speaking of transformation sequences, I have to also mention the beloved OST, or the soundtracks of this anime. Kill la Kill soundtracks are majestic. Before My Body is Dry has to be one of my favorite songs of all time as well, and in the series, and I'm sure a lot would also agree of just how much of a banger this song is. And the song and transformation animation paired together just pulls you in deep into it. It just lets that inner self just don't lose your way or something. It just feels liberating. And speaking of the transformation animation, the animation itself of this whole entire series is just superb. Trigger, the animation studio, is just phenomenal with a lot of its works. And you also have there's an amazing array of characters, each of them with good backgrounds and developments to them. But what really crowns it all to me is that the main hero, the main protagonist, Ryoko Matoi, this delinquent-ish vibe that I get from her, along with the black-red color palette aesthetic, is on point in my strike zone. And furthermore, she is voiced by none other than Ami Koshimizu, and my god, a perfect person to voice a character like Ryoko. And just the second, and I would also crown this anime as, for me, one of the greatest ones that I've watched and seen, and that is Cross Anje Tenshi to Ryo no Rondo. And in a nutshell, it's about Yuri. There's mechas, there's more Yuri, there's dragons, and there's a war. Right, they're in the war to fight a ghost. Again, just look it up, please. Sorry, but despite what I said, it is still such a great anime, at least for me. So please to check it out. Please. Now, I suppose what strikes me, right, to have it as my really, a really close point to that of Kill la Kill as my quote-unquote greatest anime ever, is because of its character lineup along with the story it goes with. Now, by what I mean from this is that from the start of the show, you have it revolve around the protagonist, Anje, who is a woman, in a setting where she interacts with other women. So, hence why you find Yuri in it, But it can be very much explained if you search the synopsis, right? Please do search for the synopsis. I'm sorry if I gave the impression that the show has a lot of fan service, which yes, it does, admittedly, yes. But above all that, the story is truly amazing. So again, once again, please do check it out. Now going back, the protagonist is surrounded by girls, right? So you'd think that it's gonna be all of the characters in the story will be just full of heroines, you know, or full of girls, much like Love Life and the like, you know. Well, that's what I thought until from the story, right? From the episodes, a few 5 episodes if I remember correctly. It's been quite a long time, really. But along the line, there is a male protagonist that would enter the scene. Now, the male protagonist is introduced, and then what happens? Romantic development between him and the female MC, the main heroine, the protagonist rather. Sorry. They're all protagonists, I suppose, yeah. And you know, development happens between them, and spoiler, maybe not, I guess, you know, it's bound to happen that ship will sail, and it sails smoothly. You know, the whole shenanigans, the romantic parts between them throughout the story, despite, you know, the whole conflict that they're facing in, is just, you know, it's good to have it in there. It's good to see that this is still a thing. This is still happening. The ship is still sailing, despite, again, the conflict of the whole story. Speaking of conflict, I should also stress that the conflict is really, really interesting. It really pulls you. I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, with that being said, in its romantic sense, you don't have to worry about the whole love triangle drama. Well, apart from the, I don't have to spoil into that too deep. But yeah, you know, it's just it's a small but yet very solid, you know, very, very solid in terms of its romantic developments. Compared with that romance, of course, is its entire storyline, the conflict. Now, the series has an ending and a conclusion, and the journey to it is, you know, it's one where, yeah, it sucks to be gone, but fanfic generator up here in my head just, keeps on pumping the fanfics. But yeah, you know what, in terms of its conflict, again, the storyline, it just keeps on going, much like Kill la Kill, where the action just keeps on going, keeps on running. Just lots of excitement to see from Kill la Kill. In Cross Anjay, you would have a story in which the conflict just evolves, the story changes, the settings change, a lot of different factors are being added into the story, and it all ties up into the end and resolved at the end greatly. I should probably, I don't know, but sorry. You know what? Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. I have difficulty. I have difficulty explaining this. But Cross Anjay, it's just that type where you can't wait for the next episode. You after the first episode, after one episode is done, you immediately wanted to go for the next, even though if you have to sacrifice your sleep, which is exactly what I did when I began watching this. Because again, the conflict just drives you in. You want. Makes you really invested, you know. That's all I can say about this. I'm dragging this for too long. So yeah, I guess that's about really covers it for what I think is the greatest anime that I've ever encountered. You know? And if Hyaka no 100 Kanojo, the 100 Girlfriends really, 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 really love you, if that manga finally gets its adaptation, then it will certainly get the #1 spot. Yes, the #1 spot in my personal favorite anime. That's, yep, Date Alive will have to step down to secretary instead of commander. You know, but will Hyaka no the anime take the spot of the greatest as my greatest anime or the greatest anime? Well, who knows, you know. Well, so far I think that the manga is already great as it is, you know, fantastic series. You know, and I guess at the end of the day, we simply just have to enjoy every single bit of it, both the original manga or the original source material and the anime of it. You know, just get to enjoy all with all 5 senses, I suppose. But hey, you know, enjoy it to the fullest. And that being said, yeah, take care, family.